Damn, this sad. So if y'all ain't heard, cause we know Lil Jon was just set to perform at the Super Bowl, right? But then he gotta deal with this. The fuck? Lil Jon's son, Nathan Smith, been missing for like over a week now. They said he was last seen at 6 o'clock a.m. at his house in Milton. But y'all, it was kind of weird because they said he ran out naked. No phone, no wallet, no shoes, no keys, no nothing. And damn, y'all, so the police did announce that they did find a body in the Milton pond, and they believe it was Nathan Smith. And right now, they said that they don't think there was any foul play. I mean, that seemed a little weird. Like, that don't seem like somebody trying to, plan to run away. It seemed like that was an emergency or something, you know? And y'all, they said he was 27 years old. You think, how can a 27-year-old drown himself in a pond? Is ponds that deep?
Breaking news, Milton, Georgia, DJ Young Slade, the son of renowned rapper Lil Jon, born Jonathan Smith, was reported missing this Tuesday. According to authorities, he was last seen around 6 a.m. on Tuesday, February 3rd, in the area of Mayfield Road near Baldwin Drive in Milton. Police stated that DJ Young Slade ran out of his home and has not been seen since. He left on foot without a phone. Officials indicated he may be disoriented and in need of assistance, adding that he might not be wearing clothes and may have no belongings with him, details that have raised concerns about a possible mental health episode. Search efforts are currently focused on Mayfield Lake along Baldwin Drive. Authorities are unsure whether the lake is connected to his disappearance, but have included the area in the intensive search. Lil Jon, widely known for his early 2000s hit songs and signature production style, has drawn community-wide attention following his son's sudden disappearance. Police are urging residents in the area to remain alert and assist in the search. We stand with Lil Jon and his family, praying for the safe return of DJ Young Slade.
All right, y'all. We back with another video, man. Y'all already know what's going on. Now, something told me we would be here a couple days ago. Did I believe it would end up like what I just read? No. We're here to talk about Lil Jon. Y'all know who Lil Jon is. You could almost say he's hip-hop legend. Creator basically of the crunk movement out of Atlanta. Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I mean, he had a run that was almost like no other. Then he was able to transition into he was doing like house kind of stuff, just all around DJ. And he's also been climbing his way back up lately. Lately, he's been in the mix a lot more. And it made even more sense on why this very strange story happened. Now, to a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, wow, that's tragic. But to us, we already know what is going on. Very strange story, and I don't believe a lick of it. At least not what happened afterwards. So who you're looking at is Lil Jon and his 27-year-old son. Instantly makes you think of something called the 27 Club. Now, yes, his son was a DJ. He was not a rock star like the original 27 Club members. But to land on that number, when he died, it makes it a little bit more red flaggish as we're finna read some of these details. Now, this is the neighborhood or this is the pond that he was found in. I'm not exactly sure if this is Lil Jon's neighborhood in Milton, Georgia, or if this was his neighborhood. I'm not sure if he stays with his dad. He's 27. This is in Milton, Georgia. Crazy thing is, y'all, this is not far at all from where I live. I don't live in the city of Atlanta anymore. This is not far at all. When I say at all, like... This is literally right down the street. That's what makes this story even crazier. So Nathan Smith, 27 years old, right? So it says on the morning of February 3rd, catch that numerology, this was Tuesday morning, Milton Police Department officers responded to a report of a missing adult in the area of Baldwin Drive in Milton, Georgia. Responding officers determined that a Milton resident, Nathan Smith, had left his residence under unusual circumstance and could not be located. The Milton Police Department immediately began search efforts and coordinated with multiple partner agencies that assisted in searching for Mr. Smith over several days. Y'all, supposedly, he just ran out of the crib Tuesday morning, early in the morning. I think it was at 6 in the morning. February 3rd, I think at 6 in the morning. Ran out of his house on foot, no phone, and they say he may have been disoriented and in need of assistance. After being unable to locate Mr. Smith during that time, teams expanded the search to include a pond in Mayfield Park near Smith's Milton residence. On February 6, 2026, at approximately 11:53 a.m., we're talking about 3 days later, went missing at 6 a.m. on the 3rd. 3 days later, on the 6th, at 11:53 a.m., divers with the Cherokee County Fire Department located and recovered a body from the pond. The individual is believed to be Nathan Smith, y'all, pending official confirmation by the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. Based on the investigation to date, there's no indication of foul play. However, the Milton Police Department Criminal Investigations Division will continue to treat this as an open and active investigation. Y'all, they are telling us this 27-year-old man with no history of mental illness, they say he ran out of the house on foot, no phone. They just say he seemed like he was disturbed. I think there was even footage of it. I think. I'll show y'all some news clips, and, you know, we're going to tie this to something else that was said recently that lets you know what these people are willing to do for more money, more time on this earth. The numerology is all over this. Number one, it just doesn't make sense at all. At all. They said he ran out of the house, and immediately they were able to get a team to start searching for him. So this wasn't a case where, all right, he goes missing, you have to wait a certain amount of time, see if he comes back home. They just immediately said the police were helping look for him. 3 days, not a single word from him. And then on the 6th, he's found in a pond, in water, where a lot of these sacrifices, they supposedly find them in water. Y'all remember Stranger Things, right? Y'all remember when Will, you know, they tried to fake the death of Will in Stranger Things? I mean, there's plenty other examples, you know, but this is the first one that come to my head. Y'all remember when they tried to fake the death of Will, right? And they found him in the pond, in the river. And then when Hop went to the morgue and stuff, found out that the body was fake and it was stuffed with foam and newspaper. Same thing. It's these sacrifices, these rituals, always happens in water. You know, like I say, a puddle of water, a portal of water. What was the most recent one, probably the most famous in a while? Theo Huxtable. What is that telling us, y'all? The numbers are just, it's over with already. Left out at 6 a.m. on the 3rd, 3 days later, found on the 6th. The numbers tell us exactly what happened. And the story just absolutely, so he just runs out of the house, and 3 days later, he found us in water dead. That's it. That's all. I couldn't even for one single second believe that story. That is insane. But with that being said, let's get into a clip from Lil Jon talking about his experiment, you know, opening up, you know, his spirit on a certain drug that's kind of like ayahuasca, but not the same thing. And I got another clip I want to show y'all as well. Check this out.
I did EMDR. Did you ever do EMDR?
I never did EMDR.
EMDR is amazing because it taps into your subconscious. Mm-hmm. When I did EMDR, stuff came out that I didn't know was there. Mm-hmm. So it can it can find the root of why you got that trauma. Mm-hmm. And then I did
that with ayahuasca.
Yeah, I have not done any of that yet. I don't want to do it. I'm thinking about it, but I don't want it to change me.
It won't.
Because I just feel like I'm already at a certain place.
Yeah.
But I do want to go tap into those things that I have locked deep away.
A lot of people who've done EDMR tell me that the ayahuasca experience is pretty similar because it just everything that is in your subconscious that you've suppressed.
Right.
God is like, no, look at it here.
Yeah.
It's all on the table
Is
now.
that a scary feeling though when you got to face all that stuff?
No, it's profound. EMDR is profound because it's like, that's why I act like that. Or that's why my mother treated me that way. Or this is why that happened. It helps you. And then like EMDR, like when I did it recently, I was able to go to my childhood self and say, it's okay.
Wow.
Now, that clip may not mean much to some people, but what made it, really interesting to me is that he was talking about that experience with Charlemagne. And y'all remember when we did the video on Charlemagne talked about how he took ayahuasca and, he met that mother spirit and he talked to that spirit. And it just kind of like set off a red flag that Lil Jon talked about that experience with someone else who's also basically initiated. Remember, we talked about Charlemagne with that $200 million deal with iHeartRadio, just out of nowhere. And I wonder what Lil Jon has up his sleeves now that, his son, in my eyes, has clearly been sacrificed. So what I want to do is show y'all this other clip, right? Now, this comes from the podcast where it's a sports podcast, right? And y'all are going to find this really interesting. The guy on the podcast, right? Crawford, the boxer who fought Canelo recently, and he won that fight. He basically is retired, right? I think he's about 36, 37 years old. And one of the guys on the podcast is Channing Crowder. And he asked Crawford, how much money would it take for him to get back in the ring? 100 million, 75 million, whatever. And, Channing Crowder just happened to say that for 100 million, they could have his soul. And when this happened with the whole Lil Jon thing, I was like, you know what? It's just another confirmation of what people are willing to do, what they're actually willing to give up in order to obtain money and more time on this earth, like I said before. And he really said, for $100 million, you can have my soul. And Crawford was like, well, we know what kind of person you are. We know your character. Because he was saying, I wouldn't do it. You got to have, you got to stand on something. And if $100 million will, make you happy and trade your soul away, then we know who you are. But anyways, check this out real quick, and then we'll come back and wrap the video up. Check this out.
Like, my thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
Now, what's crazy is that podcast is full of former NFL players. They, especially the one who said $100 million, you can have my soul. He'd already played for the Miami Dolphins. He's already been a part of $1 million contracts. And he's still willing to give up his soul for money. He's already been behind the curtain. He's already done something that thousands of young kids want to do still to this day that will never do it. And that's see the locker rooms of an NFL football team. Sign a check from a NFL franchise. And he still is willing to sell his soul for money. And I like the way Crawford just basically, he stood on his 2 feet and said, that's you. Now we see your character. You the type of person that'll do whatever for amount of money. And I'm not. And the only reason I showed that is because it just goes right back to what I believe happened with Lil Jon and his son. There's always a reason. You allow fame. You are allowed to be a part of that club. You eventually have to give up something. And it'll be very interesting if Lil Jon's son, I'm pretty sure that was his firstborn son. And at 27 years old, somehow he runs out the house at 6 a.m. in the morning. And 3 days later, he's found nearby in a pond, dead. No further details. Runs out of the house, running from who knows what. And just 3 days later, you couldn't find him. Right in the area of where he stayed. Took you 3 days to find him in a pond. He just magically appeared in a pond where you probably have been searching in that area before anyway. Or a 27-year-old man. I just find it weird. What happened in those 3 days? Where was he in those 3 days? It's a very weird story, but it is right on point and it matches, the things that we usually get from people who are connected to the industry, hip hop world, Hollywood. It's the same MO. So with that being said, y'all, oh yeah, and if y'all wondering, who is this on the screen? This is Lil Jon just looking crazy as hell back when he was like in high school. Jonathan Smith. Crazy pictures right here. But with that being said, y'all, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon, all right? I'm out.